so I thought they'd have my back more than anybody. Nah, it was a big joke. They didn't believe that we were going to have a bunch of people show up. They showed up, they were forced to come and shut the streets down, and then they tried to charge me later, but I told him, if this is the worst thing you're yelling about me today, I think we're making progress, officer. Just saying.
Yeah.
So then, after that walk, I changed my life in Youngstown. I hated this city. I hated being out here. I didn't feel like I fit in. I hated it. I remember waking up in the Mahoning County Jail, rolling over and seeing Mahoning County on the back of everybody's orange jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Like, what? How did I get here? I'll never forget those days. I know what it's like to be sick in a cell, no family, no phone calls, no money, crying, begging God to take my life because I couldn't do it anymore. I hated it, but I couldn't stop. And my parents were always like, well, why can't you quit? Why can't you stop? And when I did get clean, I'd go back out. I can't answer that. It was almost like a fight within myself every single day. In 2013, I was released from NeoCap only to be indicted by Mahoning County. And I was on house arrest pending possible prison term since I was already on probation in another county, 4 counties actually. I was a go-getter. And they pretty much told me I was probably going to go to prison, CCA'd at a PSI. I was a high chance of a repeat offender. And there was probably no point to rehabilitate me. Ha! You were wrong. You were wrong.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
So on March 14th, 2013, I gave up. And I wanted to die. I overdosed that day. They didn't have Narcan. And I remember there was a moment from the time I put it in my arm that I realized that I was going to die. In that moment, I could only think that, God, I don't want to die. I know that it could be fixed. Some time went by. I can't even tell you. You don't see bright lights. I didn't see any, but I got the message. And I came to, and the paramedic on scene looked at me like he was scared. And he was like, you were dead. You need to make a decision. So the next day, I went down to CC admin, and they drug tested me. The whole time, I still wanted to go get high. Like, it was like a fight between 2 people going all the way down there. So I remember the sheriffs came in and put the shackles on me, and that was the first time in my life I felt free. It's so hard to explain. People think I'm crazy, but I knew in that jail that I would be safe from myself. Unfortunately, the only treatment that we have available is if you commit a felony. And that's the problem. The other rehabs, there's a waiting list. So what if you want to get clean? What if today you decide you're done? Where do you go? There's nowhere to go. You're stuck out there, keep getting high, and hoping that you don't die. It's unfortunate, and that is why I brought down my guest speaker who is going to talk towards the end. He inspired me to do all this, and because of him, I'm here. And we're here, and that these cops that are here that showed up, they care.
Yeah.
So, I have not gone back to heroin since March 15th, 2013.
Amen.
And because of CCA, because of Judge Evans seeing something in me that I didn't even see in myself, CCA gave me that chance to get a job, to get out on my own, and be back in a society, not throwing me back out to the same people, places, and things with absolutely nothing, so that I have to go back to that way. And because of them, I changed. And I recently moved to Medina, and I swore I'd never come back, but it made me realize once I moved that this city is the one that saved my life. These people, this justice system, although it may seem unfair, they saved me. So this is me giving back and doing what I can, where I can, to at least help or save somebody. Even if it's one person, this was worth it for me. So with that being said, my first speaker is going to be Cindy Anderson. She's from Columbiana County. She just recently lost her son, and I had her speak in Ravenna. And most of the people I deal with aren't really addicts; they're the parents. And unfortunately, I end up seeing them after their children die. And I don't want to see any more parents come to me trying to learn how to deal with the death of their child. So with that, here is Cindy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's great to see people who are wanting to see a change. My name is Cindy. That's my son, Sean. He was my firstborn. He was my heart, my soul. Sean was a very creative, intelligent, loving child. He played soccer, he played baseball, he was a pitcher. He was on the wrestling team. He taught himself how to play guitar, and he was very artistic. Well, the problem with him being very intelligent was he got bored. So late in his teen years, he started experimenting with a lot of different things. When we found out what was going on, we approached him. And I'll never forget those words. Tom, it's just a little weed. Well, that little weed opened up a door to a demon, dark infested world that no matter how hard we fought, how hard we tried, how much we loved him, we couldn't get him back from. Our story actually really starts 13 years ago. My son was in a car accident, a single car accident. His passenger died. His passenger was his very best friend. He struggled. We tried to help. We tried to get anything we could. We would make appointments. He wouldn't go. Sean tested positive for marijuana. Therefore, in the state of West Virginia, he was charged with involuntary vehicular manslaughter. No matter how hard we tried.
I'm not going to go. It's going to rain. It's going to pour. I'm going to get wet. The microphone's not going to work. I don't want to do this. But look, I got high in South Florida for years. And I walked through storms that were named to get one hit of dope. All right? And it's my honor to be able to stand up here and talk about a little bit of my story and how I get through this on a daily basis. You're looking at somebody who shouldn't be here. You're looking at somebody who should be dead. You're looking at somebody who should be in prison. You're looking at somebody who ran through people's lives like a tornado, who hurt people on a daily basis, who would go into jail on a drug charge, and I would sit there and try to think my way out of the disease of addiction. Like, I'm not going to do this no more. I'm not going to hurt nobody no more. I'm not going to shoot dope no more. Look what you're doing. You're destroying your life. And I'd get out and I'd get arrested and go back for the same shit time and time and time and time again because I couldn't think my way out of it. If you think that the problem is heroin, you're wrong. The problem is my thinking. I never relapsed while I was already on heroin. I go back out because my thinking, because I got something that lives inside of me that tells me to get one more no matter what.
Right.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm kind of nervous. I wasn't nervous for a long time. Like, I prayed and I did this little ritual that I do. I just can't believe I'm still alive, man. I can't believe I'm still alive. I have a whole family who uses. I got people in my family that are dead from this disease. I got people in my family that are in prison from this disease.
Amen, brother. You made it,
I got
though.
people who are still using. And I'm trying to break that cycle, man.
Amen.
November 6, 2012 was the day I stopped using dope.
That's right. Yeah.
Heroin has been around about 125 years. It was invented by Bayer in the late 1800s to counteract the opium that was in America, that was created to counteract the morphine, or actually in between. Opium came first, then morphine, then they created heroin. It's been around for about 125 years. I can give you the textbook definition of the addiction of what heroin does, but let's just say when you take heroin, it makes you feel better than anything else. Your body, your brain, when you get it, it is better than hitting a home run. It is better than your favorite steak. And it's better than sex. And your body and your brain knows this. And then you don't want to do anything else. And the biggest error, I used to call it a mistake, but the biggest error I made with my son, I was like, well, you're not going to do it anymore. I mean, if you test positive, you're going to go to jail. So why would you do it again? Who's going to go to jail for 3 years? No, you're not going to do it again because people are dying. And why would you do something that can kill you? So the biggest error that I made was I didn't understand what it does to you. I didn't understand that the woman in Cincinnati 3 months ago sold her 11-year-old daughter to her dealer for sex because she didn't have the money to get that high. So what it makes you do, and you know, no addict brags, yeah, I just ripped off my mom, or, whoo, I scored. Yeah, I just lied, I just lost my friends and my job. I'm happy. They live a horrible existence. They've lost their self-respect, their friends, their family, their jobs. And every time they chase that high, it's not going to be as good as the last time. And they need a little bit more. And they know that, you know what? This just might be the last time. And they still do it. So I was kind of hoping when I came here today that I didn't see anybody. That I would have been the only person standing here. But you know what? I'm not. I'm going to give you a couple numbers. In Cuyahoga County, last year there was 194 reported overdose deaths. Reported. That works out to about 1 every day and a half. State of Ohio, 5 a day. Heroin overdose deaths. United States, 32. Over 8,500 people died in 2013. The word epidemic, the word addiction, it's not strong enough. It is a war, it is a battle. The children, my daughter is 16, that's what they're teaching her about heroin. It's too late. The young children need to be educated early. The people that are using need to be treated. Jail doesn't fix you. Treatment. You have 3 choices when you're in addict. Jail, recovery, or death. The first 2, the odds aren't always in your favor. We need to change that. And I want to applaud each and every one of you that are standing out in this rain to listen to us second stringers talk about this.
Yeah.
You guys all applaud. And with that, I'll just leave you the emotional heartstring. My son was 9 days away from his 19th birthday. High school graduate, honor student, had a 12-pack ab. He had a body to die for. Was so smart I couldn't even spell half the words he knew. I found him dead on my bathroom floor. Don't be me. Don't be my son. And thank you for coming.
Yeah.